Hey, Weather on the Fan is brought to you by Integrity Exteriors. It is 66 and a little drizzly. Hales Corners. We got rain showers going on right now, but sunny the rest of the afternoon. So go figure. We didn't need more rain. That's for sure.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook and on the free Odyssey app.
High noon and welcome in. This is the Mason Crosby Show. My name is Mitch Nellis. Tommy Wirtz is here, and the kicker showing the six-shooter.
Yep, just, back for the regular schedule, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday for a little bit here. We got a nice little run going, so it's nice to have a little consistency back in our lineup here. That's just like the Brewers, right?
Hey, Tommy.
Yeah.
Whose regular schedule is that? I'm not making fun. I'm not making fun of the kicker.
That's my regular schedule.
To be fair,
it doesn't have to be your or anyone else's, but that is my regular schedule.
No show works harder than our show, regardless of Mason's schedule.
Irregardless,
because of the amount of time that I put in all the time for us here, and Mitch filling in work does a great job as well.
I don't do anything.
The kicker averages it out to where we are. We are okay.
We're still the hardest working.
Yeah,
I appreciate y'all.
Regardless of the kicker.
Did you expect anything different? I mean, I let everyone do all the work on my job in the NFL, kicking the ball. Everyone did all the work, and then I just come in and get
I mean,
out of the moment.
The irony is you never missed a game in the NFL.
Exactly. I'm just making up for time.
The Iron Man,
crazy.
Yeah, very crazy. Very proud of that.
I'm going off the rails already.
All right,
Mason, how close did you come to missing a game due to injury during your career? Were there ever
a lot?
A lot.
There were a lot of moments where it was. So I think of one in 2020 we played Minnesota on a Sunday, and I pulled my calf. And then we're going to San Francisco on Thursday. So I have a calf strain, MRI, legitimate calf strain.
Long flight
in my left leg. And then my back locked up.
That's no good.
Yeah, on Monday morning. And I just did everything I could, every modality, all the things to just get myself ready. And I got on that plane, and sure enough, that was J.K. Scott I think he had the flu or something.
Oh no.
That might have been 2019. So that one was close. Had some hip flexors. Christmas Day one year, Christine threw herself back, and I went to grab her, and my back seized up, and that was on a Thursday leading up to a Sunday game.
Did you make the dad save though?
Oh, I saved her.
Yeah. Nice.
She threw her head back. If I didn't catch her, but and then it was laid her down gently, and then I laid on the ground. Right. I called Nate and the trainers, and I was like, I'm down over here. Need to patch me up real quick.
Nice. So close, but you
close calls.
It may, and on those days when that happened, when you woke up. Now the San Francisco game obviously was a Thursday, but the other times when you woke up Sunday morning, did you know you were good to go, or did you wake up any game days thinking this could go either way today?
There were definitely some times where I'd wake up, even surprisingly, where it's I wasn't, and I'd wake up and I'm like, oh, gosh. Like,
I thought you were like, you thought you were going to be dead in the morning. You were
Yeah.
like,
Well, not
woke
dead.
up surprised.
no, I wasn't surprised I woke up.
Okay.
I was surprised with how like, the body felt. And
Mm.
you're like, and Aaron always fought for this. Don't stay at the hotel on a Saturday before a home game, because why wouldn't we be in our comfortable beds that we're used to and all
like
of
at
that?
home.
Like,
Yep.
so we would go stay at a hotel, sleep in a bed that you didn't sleep in all the time. And I swear for a 3-year stretch, the bed I slept in there in Green Bay, like that hotel room, I'd wake up with the same little knot in the middle of my back. So I'd get up, I'd get to the stadium early, I'd roll out, I'd do this whole thing. And I'm like, why can't
right.
I didn't have this all
All
week. And now I have it on Sunday morning.
I have a question, Mason Crosby. And this
Yeah.
isn't about you or the Packers. This is about the NFL in general. Like, if I'm the NFL and this is known that like the night before a home game, you're all staying at a hotel, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't the NFL like bring in top of the line beds
The NFL
for
wouldn't.
everyone?
No,
Or
absolutely
each team? Like, shouldn't
Yeah.
the Packers outfit that hotel and the Giants outfit their hotel and the Niners do theirs and the Vikings do theirs? Like, why are you like, with all due respect to me, who like when I drive to Florida, a lot of times we stop in the middle of nowhere, Indiana, and I sleep on a hotel bed. And
Yeah.
I'm a commoner. I can sleep on a normal bed.
Well,
But
I
if
mean,
I'm-
I can
if I'm
too, but
paying-
it's before the
Right. But if
it's
I'm paying-
before the most important day of the week.
Right. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
shouldn't you like shouldn't there be something in the collective bargaining agreement that like that the NFL
It has to be a certain type of bed.
Yes.
We should all like they have
Right.
the deals. They have the deals with the what's those-
Tempur-Pedic
the
or whatever.
Tempur-Pedic
Yeah.
beds and stuff. Yeah,
Right.
like every
Like, I'm not
hotel, like they
wrong.
retrofit the,
Like, I
the
rail-
floor out for the team that's staying
Right.
there.
Like
Yeah.
I rail against like the extravagance of the sports leagues and the sports owners and the rich guys and all that. But
Oh,
but like if you're going to make this investment in people,
Yeah.
you'd think you'd want the best for them.
Ooh.
It's a simple thing, and it's funny to talk about because it's like, oh yeah, like I woke up and my back hurt or whatever, and like that. I mean, I slept on the same. So we stayed at the Radisson the whole time. McCarthy was the coach,
Okay.
and they actually had sleep number.
Do you
beds.
think he was getting a kickback?
I'm
I don't
thinking-
know.
I love to think that Mike was like, they got the best breakfast in the morning. We're
Yeah,
staying there.
exactly.
They
No,
got,
but
they
it's
got
like
sausage
let's stay at the
and
Radisson.
bacon.
But then it was always the talk at the team meeting. You're not allowed in the casino. You're not allowed to do all the stuff. And it's like, why are we staying there? Like some guy is going to walk into the casino. Someone's going to take a picture, and
Right,
like,
the Radisson's
it's going to be a problem.
All right, so did anybody sneak into the casino?
We didn't have any issues, fortunately.
okay.
I don't think we had any big issues. But then when Coach LaFleur came, we switched hotels.
Yeah.
And I guess they told us, in LaFleur in his first meeting, he's like, we're changing hotels. Like everything's new. I went and slept in all the beds in every hotel in
right.
Green Bay.
Yeah.
And I thought these were the best. And I'm going to tell you, from the switch from the Radisson to when LaFleur came, that's when the knot in the back started
Ooh.
happening. So
Wow.
Ziggy just
I don't
wants
know.
to say
Not going to blame that, but
414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. Ziggy chimes in right away. Man, those are some old man injuries, like waking up with a stiff neck for no reason. I think, Mason, at least 2 of the 3 people on this show have been there.
These are,
Tommy, you're not there yet.
those weren't old man injuries. Those were, just a product of like the job I did. But now I have those, where it's like you wake up, I slide off the side of the bed, and I'm like, is the back feeling all right? All right, before I stand up, all right, I'm good.
We should create an IL for the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network of just old man injuries and update
Well,
it.
Snide sneezes.
Right, yeah,
And
right.
he's a
That's
sneezing
what
injury.
I
Oh,
mean,
that's
like
a-
Trevor
rib
Thomas
gets out of place. That's rough.
Trevor Thomas on day to day with dad back would be great. Like that. That's what I'm waiting for.
That is great.
Speaking of the investment in the players, Mitch Nellis,
Yeah.
Let's get into
Let's
this
do
now.
it. Let's do it, Tommy.
we get very lucky that it feels like there's a lot of Packer press conferences that start at 11:30.
Yeah.
Like 11:30.
Between 10:30 and 11:30 is like prime time for Packer.
Always. So
Yeah. Mhm.
luckily, I was able to watch most of Brian Gutekunst's pre-draft press conference that he has up in Green Bay. By the way, new media room looks pretty sick
Yeah, that
right
does
now.
look sick.
Are the questions mic'd?
They are not quite.
So they have a new media room, but the questions are
There
still
would be
not
some.
mic'd.
Like
Why
you would,
don't
like,
they do?
What are we
what is this?
doing?
like it feels like every once in a while you would hear Wildy or something along.
Why don't they
those
just
lines.
have like any kind of big conference you have at each spot,
Right.
like a little button you push it, and
Or
you,
just
like,
the
you get your
two
mic.
interns have the walking mics and they pass them like
Seriously.
literally every other sports team on earth.
Well, I mean, then it leaves.
We need to hear the question.
I get it that you want to be Little Green Bay and there's only 100,000 people who live there and we're, it's kitschy.
Yeah,
and
but
it's-
then keep the media room
Listen.
really small and not like, I mean, now it looks like that thing is state of the art. It's fast.
I need to-
we got to
media.
get up there. We got to get up there.
I need
Oh
to
man, imagine if I got in that room and I started firing questions.
Let's do it. We got to do it once this year.
I
That'd
need
be
to
hilarious.
see.
Once
I
this
need
year.
to see the table that Spoff and Hot are using before I complain about the microphones again. All right.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
All right.
that table was way
So
too
back
tiny.
to the business
Okay,
at
sorry,
hand.
Sorry, we're
Wirtz
scattered.
sat down. Tommy Wirtz listened and watched the press conference, and Tommy dropped some knowledge.
Well, I mean, we'll start to work things up throughout this process, kind of like how the Packers have to wait a little bit to get to their pick. Well, we got to wait to get to some of the meat and potatoes on here. First of all, the process expected to remain very much the same, according to Gutey, with not having a first round pick.
We've talked about that, joked about it a little bit, but no, I think we're gonna do our normal process. The phones won't be as busy, that's for sure. But we're going to kind of keep our ears open. And, we put a lot of work into this with the players that are going to be picked in that round. And the sure will be a little bit more fun just because it's going to be less chaotic. But, we're going to try to stay with our process that we've always been.
That last line, less chaotic. Do you think without a first round pick, it does become less chaotic of an NFL draft, or maybe vice versa? It should feel more chaotic because now you have to wait 51 picks before you have your first guy drafted.
Yeah, you got to be careful not trying to dive into the weeds too much, right? With certain guys, because you can't fall in love with certain players whenever you pick in the second round. And you're not sure where some of these guys are going to fall. So the chaos will happen close to their pick because it's like, okay, if this guy falls here, I wouldn't be surprised. Here's where I wouldn't be surprised the Packers, not going into the first round, but maybe moving up in the second round. Like if there's a guy and it's like you're a little worried, but we're happy this guy maybe got out of the first round. Let's move up into the higher in the second round and go get somebody.
Mace, is it 52? Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
So you jump up significant
So if they
in that
see,
second round.
or if they see somebody even who drops 45.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's not a
huge jump.
Right. You don't have to get up to 35 or something like
Yeah.
that. But even if somebody they thought, if this person's at 45, who are the teams at 44, 45,
Exactly.
46 that we have a good relationship with, that we know we can make a deal
And that's
with?
why that second day, you're not going to be making those calls on day one, I wouldn't think.
No.
You're not going to be tipping your
Unless you're
hand
laying the ground
to teams, though.
There might be a team you do if you try.
You got to be careful.
Who does Gutey
You got to be
trust?
careful, though, because then they'll shop that pick around to everybody else if you jump too soon at it. So you got to kind of play that game. So that first day, they're probably going to be weighing. All right, where are guys falling? All right, who can we look at? Say they have somebody at that 45 pick. Let's just throw that as the number, and they take a corner in that first round. Then you're like, all right, now we have this conversation. If we want to get a corner and we think he might be available at 45 to jump a couple other places.
Well, gentlemen, if only he was asked the exact question you guys are discussing.
Yeah,
see, we knew it. We should have been there.
Yeah, I do. I think we do. Again, we're sitting with 8 picks right now. I think, the compensatory formula, we won't know exactly, what we have for next year, but we feel pretty good about the amount of picks we're going to have next year. So I do feel like if the right player were there, that we would be able to go get him.
If the right player were there.
I think they have 11 picks next year. Something like that already.
That was actual thunder, not just
crazy.
me.
Yeah.
Thunder and Hales Corners, everybody. I don't know how you're doing around the state. And I don't think we have a lot of rain, and it's supposed to be sunny the whole rest of the day. But if you are having water issues, just pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And so to that point, at the end of there, Gutey saying that if the right player is there, he does feel good that the Packers could make a move. However, he did bring up it's much harder to predict that front of the draft without having a first round
That's a good
pick?
question. Not really. I mean, I think during the fall, my process kind of stayed the same. I think maybe, like I said before, maybe an allocation of time as we went through the spring changed a little bit. Again, what you think is going to happen and what actually does happen, you got to be prepared for it all. So, that's really the only way I thought it did change at all.
And on top of it, also bringing up that he is still trying to acquire more picks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always.
I think that's, the more picks, that's the reason every GM league wants as many as you can, not only because of the players you could select, but the ability to move. And you never like giving them up. But if there's a player in front of you that you're going to acquire, it makes it a little bit easier, And I think we sit with 8 right now. We're looking at 11 plus for next year. So whether it's in this year's draft, next year's, the ability to move around to acquire the type of players we want to acquire, you have to have those picks to do that.
All right, Mace, I got a question for you on a follow-up to that. I think we're all on board, and we know that like Gutey wants more picks and is gonna, do some wheeling and dealing. Is there a happy medium? Is there a balance between, I want 11 picks in every draft because, 3 of them are going to hit it, 4 of them are going to hit, and then 2 or 3 of them are going to be okay, and 3 of them aren't even going to make the team, versus like the quality of the pick? And is there a way, or even trading for a 3rd or 4-year veteran who's like, who isn't a superstar, who isn't great,
but has some proven NFL experience,
but can be your number 3 or number 4 cornerback, and they can play in the NFL. And so if it's worth a 5th rounder to trade for that guy, like where do you find that happy balance?
I honestly think 8 picks is all right. I don't like more than that. I think once you get to that 10, 11, pick range, you are probably going to not keep a draft pick around. Like, it's just inevitable. So why not try to move some of those picks and get somebody from another team and like leverage that out? So I think Gutey kind of referenced that for next year. It's like we have 11 plus picks. Like, we could even trade some picks from next year to try to get something we want this year, which I think that's where they have some strength and some power in this draft, is saying, it's not just what we have this year. We also have tons of picks for next year. And if they're trying to win now, which I think they should be with the roster that they have in place and kind of the time frame they have with some of these players on this roster, you need to be aggressive if some opportunities present themselves to go and get some players. If someone wants your 2nd round pick and they're willing to give you a proven player, I'm not sure. I don't have a real lengthy conversation to see what that looks like even for this year.
Yeah, that's a proven player. Like, and it's, we
a corner drafted in the 2nd round versus like maybe a corner on a team that's the 2nd corner on someone else's team. I would take that corner that's proven on another team today for that 2nd round pick.
So there's been there were a couple of questions as well that had to deal with roster acquisition outside of the draft, as well as some of the current players on the members of the Green Bay Packers. So I want to fire off a couple again here for you guys. This first one was asked by our best friend, actually. Andy Herman was there.
Nice.
And he talked about that second wave of free agency after the NFL draft. And any expectations there for Brian Gutekunst?
We'll see. I mean, our roster is pretty heavy right now. I think we're at 74. And so after this draft and the UDFAs that we sign, we'll kind of see where we're at. As far as Malik, a lot of that'll depend on how his season goes and how much he plays. And there's some different things in there. But I'm all for that 3rd round pick. Absolutely. So we're hopeful that the Dolphins he plays a lot and plays well. We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out.
So the question was basically asked about the free agency. You saw Brian Gutekunst kind of push
and
that
about
one.
Malik.
And then Andy Herman also was asking about the prediction of those comp picks right there. And specifically, it was a 3rd rounder for Malik Willis. So that is based on his playing time, performance, and all of that goes into it. But you heard him pretty much say that the draft feels like the last wave of talent acquisition for the Green Bay Packers, but he was talked about with a couple of players that are currently on the team. Specifically, one that I wanted to play for you guys was Javon Hargrave and Devontae Wyatt's roles. trying to fill a nose tackle and what you can expect to see from them on the defensive front.
I think he can do that. I think he's really versatile. He's one of those guys who can kind of play up and down the line along with DY. Those guys are going to play a lot of snaps for us, God willing. And they can do a lot of different things. I like to be versatile that way. But I do think there's probably a little bit more probably appetite for a pure nose, because some of the snaps we're going to play are going to have that, maybe we wouldn't have had that with Jeff. So again, I think we have a lot of guys in house that we're pretty excited about, Stackhouse, Ford, Brinson, that have that kind of size that can do some of those things. But Hargrave and Wyatt are so versatile. They're able to kind of go up and down the line of scrimmage, which is nice.
And then one more quick one here, talking about the defensive line. If it sounds like it was pieced together, it was, because it was a 4-second answer and a 4-second answer here regarding Lucas Van Ness' 5th-year option.
We're working through that. I think it's May 1st. We got to do that. So we'll do that in the appropriate time. I haven't talked to him about it yet. Just got here yesterday. So that's it.
I mean,
that's it.
Not a glowing review.
I don't know how you have to talk about like what you got to talk. It's up to the team, right? It's their option. So it's basically like, are you going to or are you not?
Well,
and you're the GM. You get to make that decision.
It doesn't feel like it's going to happen. Like, what's y'all's read between the lines there? Does that feel like Van Ness is getting
when
that
he
5th-year
said,
option?
I haven't talked to him.
He's got 10 days.
I get it.
He's got 10 days.
You got 10 days to make that decision.
With a draft in between.
Right.
He's a little busy.
Is he looking for an edge rusher now? Again, because what I heard from that first clip on the defensive tackles, they're going to try to use Devontae Wyatt and Javon Hargrave in the interior side of things, and anyone else that's already been there last season, way more as an immediate impact nose tackle than anyone they could acquire in this draft.
Well, does Van Ness then, does he need to, does he go to like the 3 technique? I mean, is he playing, because it sounds like they're going to run more of like a 3-4, like they're going to run some more outside linebacker stuff. So if they're having a true nose tackle, you got Devontae Wyatt and Hargraves, and then you're gonna kind of rotate those other guys, Stackhouse and Brinson and those guys forward in that nose tackle position. I don't know. I mean, does Van Ness fit in on that style of defense?
Does it also matter who they draft?
Yes.
Does part of this depend on if the D end that they're looking for in the 2nd or 3rd round is there and they pick him, then they don't pick up Van Ness. If they don't get that guy, is Van Ness coming back?
Mitch Nellis, so I think you're all over it, because why would you not have a decision made on Lucas Van Ness's option when you're at a position that's pretty thin now, especially when Micah Parsons is out on edge rusher? If you are not targeting a guy in the 2nd round, maybe as an edge rusher for a sneaky pick, like why would you not say of
Van
course?
Van Ness kind of body type. So look back at Aaron Campman. It almost reminds me of that, where Aaron Campman as a 4-3 defensive end, like outside rusher was elite and like had like great success. And then Dom Capers comes and runs it to the 3-4, and Aaron Campman's body type and like his skill set didn't quite fit in that outside linebacker. He wasn't big enough to be a true like tackle player, like inside guy. So he went to Jacksonville, like he was gone. I don't know if Van Ness is kind of similar in that with like his size and like his skill set. Can he be an outside linebacker, or is he big enough to play interior defensive lineman in that scheme?
I have 2 more clips here. I'm going to play one more before we break. And
Hold on, before you do.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know Luis Lara just hit a home run.
Yeah, he's really good at baseball, man.
Just in case you were wondering.
Perfect.
Apparently, I believe Matt Schneidman asked this question before I cut it out here to get the answer from Brian Gutekunst. The philosophy of getting a quarterback in the NFL draft every other year popped up, and they did not draft one last year in Green Bay. He was brought back up on those previous comments.
Yeah, no, I think we're always looking to add to that room. I think we obviously picking up Desmond at the end of last year and then McCord right after the season ended. I think we did some things already, for this year. But at the same time, I think I've said this many times. I think it's the most important position of all professional sports, probably the hardest. And so we evaluate that position, every year regardless, very thoroughly. And there's some good players in this draft. And if we have an opportunity to add to that room, we will.
Did he
Carson
say
Beck.
irregardless there for you there?
I don't know if he
Mitch?
did.
He might have.
Carson Beck, here we come.
Oh, God. You want Carson Beck so bad. He's going to be Brandon Whedon, bro. He's 47 years old getting drafted.
I just remember the Packers tied the Cowboys last year, and I threw up in my mouth a little bit. I just wanted everybody
Yeah.
like, what? What?
There was a question asked to Brian Gutekunst, and this is how I labeled the answer from him. Gutey on how COVID and NIL has affected the NFL draft.
Ooh,
and I think that it like screamed business ethics for us. And I think we should talk about it on the other side in regards to Brian Gutekunst speaking today, pre-draft press conference up in Green Bay, and then a total topic that we love to talk about as much as we do on the Mason Crosby Show.
Heck yeah.
So we're going to do that when we come back?
I think.
Nice.
I mean,
Sorry,
sorry. I thought you were playing the clip.
Yeah.
I thought you were teasing the clip up. I was like,
We'll
I'm
tease the clip.
waiting.
I like
I'm
it. I
waiting.
like it. I was
I
just trying
gotcha.
to figure out why Logan Henderson only went 3 1/3 today.
okay.
I don't like.
Just
I'm so into
Look,
Nashville right now.
I get it.
Apparently,
I get it.
yeah, you're
I
locked
mean,
in.
All right, I'm here. I'm here.
it's just-
And I know he also talked about the cornerback room as well. So
Yeah.
like lots more to get to with Brian Gutekunst speaking today. His pre-draft press conference.
It's 2 days away.
No pick Thursday night, but things are going to get crazy Friday night because they always do. Because he's going to go from 8 to 43 picks in one night. It's going to be
It's gonna be crazy.
unbelievable.
Brian
It's gonna-
Gutekunst's going to draft 52 to 100.
So
All
we
right,
have
yeah.
74 players on this team. After Thursday night or Friday, we're going to have 54 players. We're trading everybody.
Yeah, I love it. He is Mason Crosby, Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. More from Brian Gutekunst coming up here on the Mason Crosby Show.
Yeah, well, we'll discuss the players, and we'll be talking through things, whether that's with the individual scouts, whether it's with, Matt, whether it's with our medical people and stuff like that. But it's always interesting how it falls, how it affects every team that picks, the trades that are involved. So we'll follow that process. What happens on Thursday will affect Friday and Saturday. So we'll be in tune with it. And again, like I said, it'll probably be a little different. But I do think it's important. We put a lot of work into these guys that you kind of look at this. Okay, hey, how do we see this shaking out? What would we do here if it was us? Things like that.
That's Brian Gutekunst listening to a bunch of his press conference from earlier today here on the Mason Crosby Show. Mitch Nellis and Tommy Wirtz here with you. My follow-up to that question, Mason, I feel like, and I wonder what we think about this is like, Gutey, do you have fun during the like is the week leading up to the draft and the draft itself? Like, obviously it's a ton of work and it's super high pressure, but on some level, like, do you almost not have time to think that it's like you're so busy that you just like you get lost in it and it's fun?
I think they enjoy the process. I mean, they work so tirelessly to get to this point, right? Like, for the personnel department, for all that. Now it's just implementing the plan. It is in all ways their game day, their Super Bowl, their moment to just finally put their stamp on this upcoming season. And so I think if you don't enjoy it, if it's not fun, and you see their reactions, like when they show draft rooms, they're celebrating. It's exciting. I think you're holding your breath at
Pumping
times,
your fist,
just waiting. Yeah, like, are we going to get the player that we were hoping to get? And then for me, though, I always hope like you don't get so caught up on and hooked into we got to make trades, we got to make some moves, like
or obsessed with one guy.
Yeah,
we got to get this one guy.
Yeah, because then you kind of maybe lose sight. But I don't like Gutey's pretty steady there, and I think there's enough pieces in that space that are going to just kind of steady that ship and make sure that's okay. Let's just stay the course. Let's find the right players that fit what we're trying to do. If a player that we really like's available at 40, 45, let's see what, see if we can go get them like that. That to me makes total sense. And then the back end of the draft, you're just building solid depth pieces for this squad for the next 3 to 4 years, right? Like, you're just building those guys, and you hope maybe a 3rd, 4th, 5th round pick becomes something special that you just kind of find a diamond in the rough. And that's what's exciting. And I think that's what not having that 1st round pick, especially when the Packers pick, it's usually 25 or later, right? Because they have success. I feel like that 1st round pick's tougher because you like how everything's falling, and then you're slotted there and you're like, I have to just have to make a pick there. Now in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th rounds, you don't have as much pressure. It's like, hey, we're going to find a solid player that we're going to hopefully develop, and they might get some playing time, but those are where you get the quality, like 3 to 4 year down the road players that are going to help this football team.
Well, and he credited Ted Thompson's draft principles while he takes on his 2026 draft.
I don't think so. I mean, I think, you're just, to me, it's just about going through the process and feeling comfortable with the players, I think, Ted always used to use a phrase, let's know what we know what we don't know. And I always thought for him that meant that there was, the board was up, but there were certain players in that board he felt very comfortable with and that he knew everything about that player. And there was others that he wasn't, So to me, it's more about the players.
Yeah. So keeping his Ted Thompson predecessor, is that the right word?
Predecessor.
Predecessor.
Yep.
There you go. I wanted to bring up this comment just from Gutey talking about the NFL draft and how much it's changed since NIL has been a part of the NCAA, and COVID on the back end of that now also playing some sort of role. I just really thought, wow, this is a topic that Mason Crosby and Mitch Nellis could scream about for a little bit.
The last couple of drafts, I think it's been this way just because of COVID, because of NIL. There's just a little bit different player that we're getting as far as there's a little bit higher of an age player that we're getting. Players now have an opportunity to go back and play another year for money that they wouldn't have done in the past. I think the young players who are going to go at the top of the draft, I think they're still coming out. I think very few of those guys go back. But I think a lot of the guys that are mid-round to late-round type picks, look at that as a really good option to go back, play, continue to develop, and they can make money at it. So I think there's a lot more 23, 24, and then 25-year-olds kind of in the middle to the lower rounds of the last couple of drafts. We'll probably see a little bit more of that in the next couple of years. But the COVID years kind of is phasing out. So the seventh-year senior is we're getting less of those, which is good.
Yeah, Mace, I think it's less that, and it's more like if I'm 21 and I'm going to be a fourth-round pick, or a school's going to pay me $2 million to be a really good middle linebacker, I'm taking that $2 million right now, and then I'll deal with the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. No, that is fascinating. I like that they dove into that because so now, you get a third, fourth round pick that's 24, even 25 maybe. I do think you might have more expectations. Like, what that player is at this point. Like, they've played a lot of high level football.
Yep.
They've probably been a guy that was getting something from their university, as they wanted them there. Because let's be real, guys playing extra years in college are not players that they don't want on the football team. These are quality football players. It is like a Carson Beck. We joke, but he's going to take a pay cut.
Oh yeah.
For what he was making there
a great
in Miami.
And I think the poster child for this is always going to be Quinn Ewers.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Quinn Ewers was
Huge
offered $5 million to go play in North Carolina, and then was a 38th round pick of the Miami Dolphins, and is making a few hundred. I mean, he's still making a few $100,000 a year, but he had a $5 million payday for 1 year.
Well, and maybe looking at other names that could have gone back, or what they've made in the NFL, like you said, to Quinn Ewers' point, but I mean, Arch, right? Couldn't Arch have found a way to come out earlier, and he's going back to Texas instead?
Because they're probably paying him
a bunch of money.
I would never leave Texas. As long because you're at the place you want to be, right? Once you get drafted, not to say that you don't always go somewhere that ends up working out and you really like, but you don't have that choice anymore, right?
And
you are being drafted by a team that is wanting you to do something for their organization, while in college you're making that choice and you're saying, this is where I want to be. I'm the man here. So it's a completely different a different experience once you go to the NFL.
Has it affected fandom at all for the NFL draft with NIL and COVID era, whatever is going on? It just seeing guys stay back in college. Is it good for college football fans? Is it bad for NFL fans? Is it better to see what you really have with another year in college with a guy? Or I just wonder if the NFL draft spectacle itself also has taken a hit because of NIL. Is there guys that are not coming out? And it really
does feel like it
with the Packers draft strategy. They always try to go young, right? I mean, I remember Kenny Clark was 20 years old when they drafted him.
Well, they did always try to go young.
Yeah, and now it's making that increasingly harder too because of Mitch's point of
these guys are staying in longer.
Why not?
I do wonder if it means there are less swings and misses because we see guys play higher level football for longer. And I would actually equate this to the NBA as well. Like guys who might have come out who instead are taking, and it's different in the NBA because everybody wants an 18-year-old because you want to maximize how much time you have that player for. But in the NFL, because you can't come out for 3 years, I do wonder if there are less swings and misses because guys play an extra year because they get paid more than being a mid-range. And if they can move themselves up a round or two, you're less likely to swing and miss because you've seen their skills.
Y'all know I don't like the transfer portal just for transferring without reason, right? Or it's I'm just going to go seek out a better deal or do all that. But that's another, to your point there, Mitch, as well, is that these young athletes some of them have experienced free agency already.
Yeah.
So they are more accustomed to going and fitting into a new situation. If you've transferred one or two times, going to an NFL team, you might feel more comfortable stepping into those spaces now because you have done that. So from an NFL perspective, they probably love the transfer portal. They're seeing these kids have already experienced free agency. They've already experienced changing programs, changing teams, meeting new teammates, being accustomed to that. And so they're able to get involved in the organization that they come into a lot quicker. So I think you have a higher developed player, especially in those second, third, fourth rounds.
Mhm.
These guys they're going to be expected to step in and probably contribute. And they're going to be able to say you get a guy in the second round that transferred to, played at 3 different schools.
Yeah.
He's going to come to Green Bay and it's going to be just that next program. And he's going to step in that locker room and know how to interact there.
I'm looking at just like the last 3 drafts too, 23, 24, 25, and trying to see if first round evaluations are maybe more accurate on a team or on a player because of NIL and because of the staying back a year in college. I don't know if I necessarily think that jumping off the page, like just for instance, the top 5 picks in the 23 draft, right? It's Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Will Anderson, Anthony Richardson, Devon Witherspoon. I mean, 4 or 5 of those guys are pretty big hits, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Anthony Richardson, obviously a reach, but then going from there, Paris Johnson, who has kind of been underwhelming in Arizona. I have no idea why I just got zoomed in there. Sorry. Tyree Wilson.
Because you're sexy.
Tyree Wilson was the 7th pick. He was the edge out of Tech. Bijan, Jalen Carter, Darnell Wright, like those top 10 picks. I mean, is that any different than a top 10 pick of the year in 2024 when it's Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Marvin Harrison, Joe Alt, Malik Neighbors, Michael Penix, Roma Dunze, JJ McCarthy. Yikes.
So I don't know that we're going to see a difference in the top 10. I think it's more second, third, fourth rounders. I think it's second, third, fourth rounders where you see, as opposed to taking reaches there, you're going to see a guy who's been around and has transferred a couple times and is ready to play pro football as a second, third, fourth rounders. Top 10 guys are always going to be expected to contribute right away. And if they don't, they're a bust. That's it.
Yeah.
But if you're a second, third, fourth rounder, I don't know that those guys are always expected to perform over the last 10, 15 years. And
but you could find somebody that you're like, hey, no, but I'm just saying, I think in today's age, like you're saying,
you're more likely to
find someone and you just be like, wow, this guy is like pro ready.
But also,
and we can fit him in.
But also Curtin Wausau with a good point. The quarterback from Oregon, what pick was he going to be?
Tommy? Oh, Dante Moore, he's a top 2 pick.
Right, he was a top 2 pick, and he decided to go back to college this year, and now he was going to get paid as a top 2 pick. But he also is getting paid a boatload for 1 year to stay in college and to have fun and to do college stuff. And he'll, assume he doesn't mess things up, he'll be a top 2 pick again.
He also didn't want to go to the Jets. Like that's probably a fair point.
Yeah, with Mendoza, you're like, I don't want to go.
Point.
Don't want to go to the Jets.
Good point.
What do you think about that? I mean, kind of as I'm looking through a bunch of mock drafts, I mean, they got Mendoza at 1, and then there aren't a ton of quarterbacks coming out in this draft, like in that first round, like as far as projection.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of the lighter compared to, like you read, the 23, 24, like some of these drafts where it's like there are so many quarterbacks. Is that just a product of that? Like we're kind of in like year 3.
This year. Yeah.
And it's like a lot of these teams are still developing some of these guys they drafted in the top 5.
Yeah.
It's like, we're not going to draft somebody in the top 10 here because we just don't need to.
And there are guys who aren't graded to be that high. It's just, and there are years like that. Like it's not every year that you have like 5 or 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round. There are some years where, you only have 1 or 2 based on where they grade out. Go ahead.
Let me just throw this out.
Yep.
45. We joked about 45. So they Baltimore Ravens have the 45th pick.
Mm-hmm.
And on this like projecting mock draft, they are projecting them to take the D tackle Caleb Banks from Florida.
Ooh, okay.
You think Packers at 52 would jump up to get someone like that?
I just think they're taking a corner or edge rusher right now. You can book it.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
They have Penn State's edge rusher as their projected pick.
I also am keeping an eye on pick number 20 because obviously that's where they would have been, and that's the pick the Cowboys have. So that'll
be interesting.
I don't care who they pick at 20 because I'd rather have Micah Parsons, but it's just that will be of interest. Plenty more to get to. Paul Wagner at the top of the 1 o'clock hour. Wags is going to talk some baseball with us. The Brewers are in Detroit tonight. So we've got plenty more to get to. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Mason Crosby Show.
Yes, you are.
This is the Mason Crosby Show. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Mason Crosby. Tommy's here. I got distracted because Cal brought me half a burger. Cal from Thailand, just getting it done. Hold on, Mace. Go ahead. Yeah. Cal hooked me up with half a burger.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did he like eat half and then just give you or did he cut it?
Someone else from Thailand who will not be named. She only ate half the burger. It was cut.
Okay, it was cut.
Yeah, it was cut.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Would you eat it if it wasn't cut?
Yeah.
I would.
I mean,
yeah.
and with any of you
if I knew who
Right.
ate the
If I
other
knew who
half,
it was, yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
that's
100%. I
fine.
mean, that's the hard thing with having kids. Like anyone that has kids knows, like the scraps are like where you got to be careful because
Well,
they'll eat half their food and then you're like, oh gosh, I don't want to waste. And then
So,
you're
Mace,
like, wait, I just ate like a meal and a half.
when I go out to dinner with Mrs. Thunder, Mrs. Thunder's one of 4 siblings, and there's nephews, and I don't order a meal
Yeah,
because
just
I
scrap.
know my mother-in-law and my nephew, like there's gonna be so much food left over.
I
I'm
love
good.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
know your surroundings.
Thank you. Gutey knows his surroundings. It's going to be just fine in Pittsburgh or in Green Bay, working in Pittsburgh.
That's right.
Paul Wagner knows his surroundings. His surroundings are about to be the Mason Crosby Show.
Let's go. Let's talk
Wags
to Brewers. Let's
is
go.
next.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook and on the free Odyssey app.
High noon in Denver.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah.
I like
right.
that. I like
right.
that.
High noon in Denver. High noon in Colorado.
You've been waiting to throw that one out.
I need a new city every day.
I can't believe I
A new
just
mountain
came
time.
up with that now.
I can't either.
Yeah. Oh,
That took you a while.
that did. We'll perfect that. But I'm excited that became part of our daily regimen now.
New city every day.
Welcome into hour number 2, High Noon in Denver, of the Mason Crosby Show. I'm Mitch Nellis. He is Tommy Wirtz. Mason Crosby, Dad seasoning it up. How's Dad season going, Mace?
Good. I was just checking on patient zero in there. So
Okay.
no kids home from school. We're
Nice.
all at
Nice.
school.
All
Yeah,
better.
just Molly, just
Yeah.
taking care of Molly.
Gosh, you live in a petri dish of a house, man.
Dude,
Oh, you got 5 kids and
Seriously.
they go to school. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, they go to what was that? They go-
Public school?
if they went to private school, would they not get
It's less of a
Would they not
petri
be-
dish. It's less of a
No.
petri dish.
No shot.
Yeah. No comment.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Joining us now on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law One Call. That's all. How's the Cudahy School District as a petri dish, sir? Our very good friend, longtime Milwaukee Brewer, and member of the Wisconsin baseball royalty, Paul Wagner. What's up, Wags?
You were scratching. You were reaching for compliments that you couldn't even
Public
pull out.
school graduates,
Yeah.
Paul Wagner.
I was just reaching for the right words to truly express the greatness of the Wagner.
Yeah, when you say Wagner and greatness, we know you must have had an early happy hour.
Ooh, I'll take it. Well, Paul, thanks so much for jumping on every Tuesday, 1:00. Our Milwaukee Brewers are 3 games over 500 and are in last place. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It really is. Look at the Central Division. I believe everybody's over 500.
Yep.
Will that last? No, we understand that, but everybody's playing pretty good baseball, and it takes that one little falter. You take 2 out of 3 from it was a good little sprint. It was a good sprint, and that's the way we look at it. We compared it last week. Remember when Mason was saying about NFL, 1 week at a time? We got a game by game. Like, you just got to forget it. You lose, you get swept by the Nationals, and then you come back and you win 3 out of. You win games. It's just a roller coaster of a ride. So I think as long as you're above 500 and they're playing and winning series, I think that's the 5th series they won. That's all you can ask for. Maybe you could ask for a little bit better defense. You could ask for less injuries, but who else wouldn't ask for something,
Right. It's control the controllables. You can't control how well these other teams are playing, but you can control every game, every series, every time you get on that diamond. I do want to ask about that and about this division before we dive deep into kind of this team and how they've been playing as well. Which teams are surprising you in this division? Did you see this coming? Like, all these teams being above 500 at this point and playing high-level baseball?
No, I don't think anybody really did. And again, kudos to them. Hard play coming out of a long spring training. The WBC hit a lot of different teams with a lot of different players in a lot of different countries. But coming out of the gate strong is what you want. You'd rather be above 500 than below 500 and trying to, get above that waterline. I think some of the teams in mention, it's unfortunate. It's the same old story. I love Pittsburgh. I've been a Pittsburgh guy my whole life. I spent 8 years of my career in Pittsburgh. I love everything about it, but I just don't see it yet. They got to prove something.
You're not sure? You think they're front running right now?
Yeah. 162 games is 162 games.
That's right.
That's a long time. And again, all those uncontrollables take place. So see what happens. I just think them and the Cincinnati Reds and stuff. Great starts, great personnel, great foundation starting. I just don't think. I think it's going to be the Milwaukee Brewers and the Chicago Cubs again towards the end of the year.
I love it. I was looking at, who do you think National League wise, like looking across as we're just talking about other teams before we dive into our Brew Crew in depth? Obviously Atlanta, LA, and Cincinnati leading the divisions. Between Atlanta and LA, do you think Atlanta can go and chase something this year? Or is this just still the Dodgers world and we're all just living in it?
I'd love to say, yeah, there's so much competition out there. I think I do. I truly believe it's the Dodgers world. It is. And I'm not just saying it because of the dollars and the players and the talent is there. Yes, they have the largest payroll. Yes, they have deferred payments. Yes, they've been very creative. Yes, they're LA. They're good. They're good. Yeah. They're just good. So until you get that fluke, I don't wish an injury upon anybody, but if the Milwaukee Brewers get tagged up with the LA Dodgers next year or this year like they did last year, maybe a couple of guys take a little bumpy bus ride and hit their head on the roof and can't play.
I like that.
The best public school graduate on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, Paul Wagner, joining us here on the Mason Crosby Show. Paul,
those public school kids.
I wanted to ask on the pitching side of things. Over the weekend, we saw two really awesome pitching performances, and I wanted you to go in either direction when prompted. Who do you want to speak more about? Coleman Crow's MLB debut or Brandon Woodruff going 7 innings for this Milwaukee Brewers team over the weekend in Miami? Which one stood out to you more? Which one were you more impressed with? And give a little synopsis on both those performances whenever.
Well, yeah, I'm going to give definitely a double thumbs up for the Crow kid. I know he got sent back down. I know he came up for the spot start. I didn't know much about him, to tell you the truth. I didn't know what he did, what he came up with, and how he performed. Obviously, it's a bright, great future, and I look forward to seeing him go back down to Nashville, continue to progress on his pitches, his pitch selection, his idea, learning how to play the game. But one of the biggest things that he can take from this is he was here. Granted, it was Miami. Granted, whatever you want to say, you can say whatever you want. He knows now that the guys at the big league level put on their shoes the same way he does. They play the same game. They take batting practice. They do everything he's done his whole career coming up through the minor leagues. And I don't know if that was his major league debut or not, but he wasn't there. So at the start of the year, now he knows that he fits in with the Milwaukee Brewers and the organization, and he's been accepted. So that's him. Brandon Woodruff, still to this, every single time he goes out, he amazes me. It is a tough call. With that shoulder injury, learning how to reestablish yourself as a pitcher, going with the things that he has to change. He doesn't roll out of bed anymore and throw 97, 98 miles an hour like he did at Ole Miss. It doesn't happen. I mean, that just doesn't happen anymore. He's got a pitch, and he's making himself a very valuable pitcher, which I'll tell you right now, I know we're early in the season. I doubted it. I didn't think it could happen. I didn't think he would adjust this quickly.
I like that.
That's interesting because, and I think, I don't think you're alone, Wags, when you look at what he's doing, because even last year before the injury, he was, coming back after the previous injury, he still came back and was throwing high 90s. And the fact to reinvent yourself, and you've talked about it before, how like you were a hard thrower and you threw the ball hard. And as you got older, you had to learn a little bit on how to do things differently. But when you're, the way Woody has been, in Cy Young conversations during his career and numerous injuries over the years, the past couple of years, those injuries right before the playoffs that kind of put the pitching staff in disarray. For him to come back the way he's pitching right now, and I'll be honest, Wags, I'm still a little leery. I'm still a little nervous that it's a little smoke and mirrors, and at some point the league will figure out that this is a new Woodruff and they will adjust to him. Is that something that happens? What does he need to do to stay ahead of the league readjusting to the new Brandon Woodruff?
And that's exactly what he has to keep doing. He fell behind early. There was an inning, I believe it was the fourth or the fifth inning, where he had a leadoff walk. And you know what? He stayed within himself, and he didn't try to become the Brandon Woodruff of old and blow people. He knew what he had. It was a leadoff walk, and he got out of it. He got out of the inning unscathed. And I'm like, that is where he controlled himself, where he knows exactly who he is and what he's capable of doing. And that's the biggest thing with any athlete in any sport. Know what you're capable of doing and try not to do more, because when you try to do more, 9 times out of 10, you end up you burying yourself and it doesn't work. But if you stay within yourself and you know exactly what you can do, whether I can shoot the 3-pointer, whether I can kick the 55-yard field goal, whether I can run up whatever I can catch. If you stay within yourself as a professional athlete and you don't let the mind take over and you just do it, things are good. And that's kind of what he's doing right now. Will the league catch up to him? Yeah, they're going to pick up his tendencies. They're going to pick up their whiff rates, their swing rates, his first pitch tendency, what he throws the first pitch to righties and lefties, what situation. Advanced scouting is huge. But if he can continue to stay within himself and stay one step ahead, I think Brandon Woodruff, maybe that smoke all clears maybe in the end of October for you.
Wags, do you know in that final game on Sunday against Miami, how many Milwaukee Brewers players took an at-bat that are batting below 200 on the season so far?
No, don't even drop no, I have no idea.
7 is the correct answer during that. As a pitcher, do you get frustrated with the, batting side performances? Is there something that, it changes your mentality, or is there something you guys try to do to provide some, pick me up to the guys who struggle at the plate? Because it feels like the Brewers either have elite level players playing right now, guys like a Terang or Contreras playing every day, or they're stuck with, hey, Greg Jones is batting 111 right now, and Sal Frelick's off to a slow start batting under 200.
Joey, of course.
Joey Ortiz, David Hamilton. I mean, the list goes on and on. Like, what is your approach? Does your approach change at all as a pitcher? Do you do anything to try to help out your hitters throughout a slump right now? Because the Brewers, it sure seems it's amazing that they're 3 games over 500 with such performance at the bats.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're professionals. You do your job. You don't. I got enough things to worry about. The 13 pitchers on our staff, or 14 pitchers, whatever we have at that given time, they got enough things to worry about, how they're going to get people out. If you start worrying about other people, and I know what you're saying, how do you pick them up? How do you keep them positive? You just don't make a point of he's hitting 200 or he's hitting 188. You have to worry about yourself. If you do your job, usually things take care of itself. But when you start meddling in somebody else's career, how much money they make, how many hits they didn't get or they did get, or they need to hit more home runs, or if you start telling somebody and you're not really at that level with them as far as friendship, you're better off just shutting your mouth and you do your job, because this game is weird. This game finds its way. You can have a slump. You can have a hot streak. You can go cold as hell. Then all of a sudden you can get hot. Then you can do things. Then you can give up home runs. Then there's so many things that happen in this baseball world that you take care of yourself. Obviously, you give them high fives when they do something. Take those little things. If they sacrifice a guy over or sack fly, even though it's not a hit in the scorebook, did they do something to help the team? They put the ball on the ground. They made contact. They moved a runner over. I mean, those little things, you just got to be there, and you got to be in support. You got 26 guys that are battling together, like I said, for 162 games. Man, the goal is at the end, and the goal is to beat the LA Dodgers. So hey, they all got to play together.
I love that. I love that. Do your job. Paul Wagner, you are, oh gosh, you're awesome. I love how you put that. And it just, it is so true. Whenever you're in that clubhouse, in that locker room, you're building your teammates up. When they're having a bad time or it's a slump or things aren't going well, but it's a team. And unless you want the season to just fall apart, that's when you start pointing fingers, right? Let the management, let the people that make the decisions decide what they're going to do. If somebody's bad enough that they need to make a change, you just build your teammates up over and over again. Even if it's false, even if it's fake, you got to be there for those guys. Somebody that's on the cusp of coming back, I was looking at Quinn Priester. Looks like is he about to have a rehab session there in Nashville? Is that what I was reading?
I tell you what, I didn't see that yet. I'm sure if Thunder, if you guys know, I don't know what his timeline is. I just knew that his ETA back to the big leagues was, I thought, like in June, middle of June or end of June or something like that. So if he's ahead of schedule that far, I look forward to it. He's got really good stuff. He's a good young kid. I saw him when he came out of high school in Illinois. I think he got drafted by Pittsburgh or Boston or something like that. But
yep.
Yeah, I saw, and he's good. He's got good stuff. His variables play. Again, it's a situation where, unfortunately, you look at a lot of young players and you got to get between their ears because they all have the physical ability. They all have the physical tools. They have to hit that one little click or that one thing that clicks in their mind and their body that tells them that they belong and that they're good enough. And then a guy with unlimited talent like that can just run the board.
Yeah, I think I'm seeing a report here that he is scheduled to throw some live BP at the spring training complex. And if all goes well, he could begin a rehab assignment.
I just saw this thing. It was he's throwing last tune-up before he heads to Nashville for a rehab assignment. So I don't know. He could be
John,
close.
are you going to be okay if Quinn's close?
Yeah,
I know you love Quinn.
Quinn's great. I have a question here for you, Wags, though, in regards to maybe a comparison. Maybe it's not fair. If you come back in 2026, you think Quinn Priester will come back and be that guy, maybe slots in at the number 3 starting pitcher position? Or how legitimate do you think this great early start for Chad Patrick is, and that maybe he could lap Quinn Priester at a time? Because quite frankly, Chad Patrick, we talk about it here, that just feels like is a victim of lack of run support all the time. The boys just don't get up for him for some reason. But we can't help but love his mentality. The bulldog, I think, is what Tim Allen calls him. Like, is Chad Patrick more valuable this year to this pitching staff than a guy like Quinn Priester?
Well, especially right now. And then you start labeling, like you just said, is he a 3, a 4, is he a 5, or is he just a bulldog, or is he... Now that the season has started, we really don't have to put anybody into a specific slot or label them until the postseason. So, you know what? We continue to battle. Does Crow, does Henderson, do those guys continue to battle down in AAA at Nashville? And do they come up? Does Patrick falter a little bit? Does he do something wrong? But I love everything that they do because it doesn't matter where you are. You take it game by game, and that's this mentality. You know what? If he's on the mound, he's our ace. He's our ace today. You know what? Brandon Woodruff pitched the last game. You know what? Mizorowski pitches. You know, he's our number 1. But you know what? Today, who's ever on the bump, he's our ace. And that's how the Brewer mentality works. Because if you start labeling people and relying on someone else to pick you up, hey, he's the 4-hole hitter. He's got to drive runs in. I don't have to. Then we've got issues. But if everybody plays together and that day's starter is your ace and that day's 4-hole hitter is your cleanup guy, or this guy is your 2-hitter or your 3-hitter, or I love the 6-hole position. I love it when the lineup goes through. I love the 6-hole. I like good players. I like good hitters batting in that 6-hole. That's my favorite spot of the lineup. And if that's what it is today, that's what it is.
By the way, Kyle Harrison is today's ace for your Milwaukee Brewers.
There it is.
1-1 with a 3.07 ERA, taking the bump for the Crew.
I get it. I saw Montero. I think, unfortunately, I have a little bit of a Potawatomi issue, but I did see.
It's not an issue. It's not an issue if you're winning, bro.
If Harrison's, I think, a 4.5 on the strikeouts, and I think Detroit's actually favored in this game because of the home. I don't know much about Montero. I know his stats are good, but again, it's hard to bet on the Brewers, but I do like the Harrison kid. And even though you look at that last outing he had, I'm not saying that the Gary Sanchez throw off of his shoelaces is the cause and the falter of everything.
Off the knee.
Yeah, it's not that he got hurt because he threw it and whipped it at his knee. It's that he got hurt because he threw it, whipped it at his knee, and fell down. Like that was actually
at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah. That was the most little league t-ball play I have ever seen from Gary Sanchez. Paul, I just got one more for you. I'm going to set you up for Sparky because I think Sparky's going to do a topic on this. If you could pay Bryce Terang or William Contreras, and you can only pay one of them, Paul, who are you picking?
Ooh.
I'm gonna pay Bryce Terang.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah. I'm gonna pay him. I think nothing against Contreras at all. Nothing at all. I just don't think that. But a catcher, as we all know, just just look at it.
They break down.
He gets his ass kicked every day, every day. I mean, he's like a lineman, for goodness sakes. So I'm going to pay. If I'm going to extend into the $100+ million, and I'm going to go 5, 6, buy up a couple of years of free agency. If I'm going to go multi-year like that, I'm going to stick to a Jackson Churio. I'm going to stick to a Bryce Terang. I'm going to stick to the guy that can play a lot and kind of avoid as much injury as possible.
Terang also 2 years younger. I know there's an article in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel today by Kurt Hogue. I was going to join the show tomorrow, talking about what an extension for Bryce Terang might look like, and we'll talk. We'll be talking about that throughout the day. I'm sure that's on your mind. Nico Horner just signed a 6-year, $141 million extension. Now, Nico's a lot closer to free agency than Bryce Terang is. So, Kurt had thrown out 5 years, $100 million. I think it's going to be. I would think it'd be a little bit more than that.
Seriously, if they threw that at Bryce Terang and he
said yes,
if he's saying I'm willing to take that number, and they don't just shove that contract over his right in front of him right now, I think they're
pull out your crayons, pull out your paper.
They're losing their minds.
Yeah,
write that right now.
Paul, Terang does show potential of being build the team around him, right?
I agree. Especially when you look at how this team is going to move forward. And I like Joey Ortiz up the middle, but you just talked about his hitting problems and his issues and situations. He's not it. You've got Amade, you've got a Pena in the outfield coming. You've got so much, and I don't really know what the whole Cooper I don't get that, but the Milwaukee Brewers are a lot smarter than me, and that's a way above my pay grade. But I mean, you put those guys they're top 4 prospects, and you put that with Churio multi-year signings, you sign up Terang, man, you've got a core, and you're right. Terang is one you can build around.
How quickly do you see those 2 young guys that you just mentioned kind of move up the ranks and get their shot in the big leagues? I mean, they look like they are just dominating down there in the minor leagues right now.
I'm anxious very curious to see how this Brewer team continues to play, because if those guys continue, I mean, I look at it like Pena, Made, the other kid, they're all hitting 380. And unfortunately, I think Pratt's hitting $180. But you know what? This 27 CBA thing going on strike is going to cause some problems. And if once a player goes on the 40-man roster, now they have to stay home. So now I got to look at Made and those guys, and I got to see how much do they need the reps. I can't have a guy sit out. Let's just say MLB has a shortened season next year in 27, and they play, I'm not saying COVID 60, but let's just say they play 100 games. In those first 62 games that they miss, is that going to hurt the development of my young talent? So if I call them up, they're on the 40-man, now they can't play. So that's got to be the question kicked around with the front office, and how fast do we bring these young kids up, because I don't want them to lose time next year.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, that has to be considered for sure.
Absolutely. A great point. Paul, I hear you got some turkeys on the horizon, huh?
We got it. We got a good season coming up. My actual opening day is tomorrow morning, so I will be out there and hopefully get one of those big gobblers. The quicker you can get one, the faster you can eat it, and the faster you can drink a beer and watch everybody else hunt and scramble.
I love it.
What kind of call are you? Do you use the mouth call, like the little piece that you put in, or do you use a scrape, or how do you call your birds in?
I use the box call or a slate call. I don't use glass. I tried that mouth thing, and I'm like, I swear I almost choked on it. I said, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. First off, I don't even sound like a turkey. I sound like an old man choking to death.
I want the turkey call put over Craig Counsell putting a dip in his mouth. That you would call
God.
like
There
the
it
same
is.
thing.
That's hilarious.
Oh,
That's so good. Well, Paul, enjoy opening day, and we will talk with you next week.
Absolutely, boys. You be careful. Have a good one.
You too.
All right,
That's
later.
Paul Wagner, a.k.a. Wags. Our baseball insider joins us every Tuesday at 1:00 to talk crew and life.
I love it.
Yep. And all
I love
the
that
fun.
he's going
always
turkey
up to,
hunting.
he's always up to fun stuff, Mace. He's always got something going on.
That's so great. My dad, my brother and I both tried to do like the mouth calls.
Okay.
I would do the scrapes and do different things, but my dad was always on the road driving for his job. And like while he was driving, he just practiced, and he is unbelievable with it. I mean, he can. It takes a lot. Like, it's not easy.
No,
like,
we want to hear. We want to hear
Yes.
Jim bring it on.
I'll have him send me
Next
a
time
video
he's in
so you
town,
can see
we
it.
need
Yeah.
bring it with him.
Could have gave me a multiple choice list of hidden talents of Jim Crosby, and I saw turkey calling on
Turkey
there.
calling.
Would have
Yes.
100%
Yes.
checked the box.
Totally
Turkey
agree.
calling.
Easy
Exactly.
knew that easily.
Our thanks to Paul Wagner jumping on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. If you want to chime in on the Brewers starting a 3-game set in Detroit tonight, Kyle Harrison on the bump for the crew. 414-677-1250. It's green smoothie time for everybody.
Yeah,
This
it is.
is the Mason Crosby Show. Hello.
Come on,
I
Tommy.
nailed it. Oh
Is
my
there
God.
anybody in there?
Oh God. Please.
Tommy, this is your playlist, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Yeah. It's 420 somewhere.
You know what? We got so screwed on this. And it's because
I have a playlist.
Is this Sparky's list?
it's
Mason?
Sparky's old list.
Mason,
Oh,
I know,
he just
no.
recycled it to us? Come on.
Mason, I know you hate email. Okay. Fair?
Yes.
Will you email me a list of 10 songs you'd like to be bump music on this show?
Okay.
Like, have a little energy, have a little pep. You know what song I always loved as a bump music that I think I might put into the mix? Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. Just because it has that great intro. It's like dum da dum da dum da dum da.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
That was it.
Dude,
That was
Mason,
it.
why don't you just sing it coming out of the break
You can
every
totally
time?
tell what song I was doing. This is the
It was like Eiffel 65 meets.
I'm blue, dabo dee dabo da, and dabo dee da. This is the Mason Crosby
Same
Show.
song.
I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Tommy Words. Mason Crosby in the house. The NBA playoffs are going on. The NHL playoffs are going on, so we're keeping our eye on those. The Brewers take on the Tigers, and again, the Brewers 12-9 in last place in the NL Central, which I think Paul Wagner was funny when he said, yeah, and I think all the teams are over 500. Well, yes, if I wasn't going to be like a jerk, but I was going to be like, yes, if they're 12-9 and in last place.
He did also say everyone in the Brewers organization is smarter than him.
That is true. That is true.
So.
Yeah, once you say that, then you can say whatever you want.
Exactly.
You can be
Totally
as
true.
dumb as you want.
414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. Ken is in the Falls. Ken, you're up on the Mason Crosby Show.
Well, thanks for having me, boys. Yeah,
Thanks for being had.
Yeah, exactly. Listening to Paul talk there about turkey hunting first. Mason, we have a mutual friend, Jay Stieber.
Oh, yeah, Jay Bird. All right.
Yeah, he used to hunt my property all the time, and he shot a nice buck down by me. But spring turkey hunting, I take those guys out. Oh man, did they have a blast? Him and his brother.
I'll take some
Nice.
turkey jerky. I'll take some turkey jerky.
Did y'all get after it? How many did you get? Did y'all clean them up?
Oh yeah, the thunder chickens. They are just
I love
a
the
blast.
thunder
to
chickens.
hunt.
I don't know what that means.
Well, you gotta hear.
What is
You
a
gotta
thunder
hear 'em.
chicken?
Yeah,
Really?
you got to hear them. Yeah.
In the morning when they're on the roost and I'm calling to them, it's called sweet talking. You're just getting them worked up, getting them ready to fly down out of the roost and getting ready to put a number 6 shot right across their face
What
and drop
is
them right
going
there in
on?
the field.
Ken, what is going on right
It
now?
is interesting because if you think about what you're doing, you're literally trying to entice a turkey to come and like mate with
It's their
you.
mating season. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
it's their mating season
Yeah,
right
they
now.
are a wild turkey. By the way, the Hartford Yard Goats minor league baseball team played a
Yep.
game as the Hartford Thunder Chickens,
I love
and
it.
they literally have like it's first of all the jersey's purple, and it has like a turkey with like a lightning bolt hitting.
You
a
have to
turkey.
get that.
I
You have to have that shirt.
Tommy, you got to see this. This is amazing.
I got you.
That
All
is
right, all right.
outstanding. But anyways, yeah, turkey hunting, springtime, Wisconsin. You know, it is what it is. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't tried it, get out there. Hey, I'll tell you this, Thunder. If you like to get up early, I'll take you out
I
one morning.
don't.
You'll have a blast.
I 0% like getting up early, Ken, but for you, I would. For you, I would.
But anyways, Paul was talking about the Brewers in terms of Contreras and Terang, and giving Terang the extension, but not Contreras. I think Matt Arnold's got to find a way to take these two franchise players and get them both contracts and get them extensions, because these guys are the heart of your team right now. And nobody's going to convince me different. The Brewers, any team can do a number of different things. And I think the Brewers, as creative as they are, they can put together some deals to keep these guys locked up for a few years, 4, 5, 6 year deals. So I would like to see it. I know many of the fans would like to see it. These are two of the best players in baseball at their positions. And the way they hit and spark this team, it's absolutely fantastic.
I totally agree. I think if the rumors are true, like this article that Kurt Hogue put out, that Terang would be willing to take a 5-year, $100 million deal, then yes, you can do that. But I find it hard to believe with the deals that we've seen come up recently that Terang would go that significantly below that. But who knows? Maybe he just wants to be a part of
You never
something, and he
know.
sees this team going and doing great things.
Well, the thing like those two players is that many teams would put big contracts in front of them, and that's the only downfall is that
Exactly.
they would make an exception to do a 5-year $200 million deal, meaning other teams are 250. So that might be a little bit tougher, not for the Brewers, but if you extend that guy out for even a longer contract, and you pay it heavy on the back end with a nice signing bonus. You never know what these guys are going to do, but it's something that's intriguing to say the least. But for now, they're here as Brewers, and they're going to continue. And one more thing, going back to turkey hunt, when you said your dad used to practice his mouth calls when he was driving,
Yep.
I did the exact same thing for years.
That's great.
I had so much road time when I was going out to our property in La Crosse or Prairie du Chien that I could perfect that mouth call like there was no tomorrow.
That's the way to do it. He'd like
awesome.
listen, and
That's awesome.
he'd listen to like the audio. I guess they had like CDs that would kind of like
Correct.
teach you how to do it, and he'd crush it. So he's so good at it, and I never could get it dialed in, but he's a professional.
Once you get him that last 30 or 40 yards and you're hung up, you give him a purring. You start purring.
You purr at them, yeah.
Tom. Yeah, you purr at them, and they just come running in. And then
That's what I do. That's what I do.
That's your job, Thunder.
Yes,
You just purr at them, and
purr
they'll
at
come
'em.
flying.
All right, Ken.
The next thing you hear is the safety click off and one loud bang, and you got a Thunder chicken on the ground.
Thunder
Thunder
chicken on the
chicken
ground.
down.
Ken, thanks for the call, brother.
Dude.
Ken is awesome.
This is where Tommy thought this conversation was going
There is
today.
no way we thought this was going this direction.
It's also purple, Mitch.
I know.
Like,
That's what it is.
No, you
Yes.
have to have this
Like,
shirt.
this
You have to have
Right?
this shirt.
I have to. I texted it to both you guys. So
Yeah,
you have to.
I will.
looks
I
great.
will make this happen. We got a couple messages coming in on the talking text line. That's the Nikolai Law talking text line 414-677-1250. I'm a mailman in Tosa. We don't need a single call for the wild turkeys here. They come after us willingly. LOL. That's Nick, the mailman. Mike in Greendale wants to know if we can
Nice.
talk WrestleMania. I'd love to call in. We talked a little WrestleMania yesterday. I haven't finished the Raw after WrestleMania yet. I might have to, you know what? Josh from the morning show and we might have to do like a podcast or a weekly show or something because I know some people hate talking about wrestling and other people love talking about wrestling.
Yeah, there's a market for it.
There's
Yeah.
definitely a market for it. 353 writes in, Mace is a good one. I was like, finally, a kick-ass song coming out of the break. Pink Floyd rocks. Enjoy your top 40 rap crap. I agree.
I like
Pink
that,
Floyd
yeah.
rocks. Like I just
Not
don't
sure
love-
it worked right there.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't love that song for bump music on the radio when you're trying to have some energy.
For sure.
Pink Floyd is obviously one of the all-timers. Like I listened to Pink Floyd all through college.
Oh, for
And
sure.
like as you know, because that's what you do in college.
That's
while
what you
you're-
do.
while you're sitting around a dorm room doing nothing.
I had something that came across my feed today for you Pink Floyd fans out there.
Oh, nice.
That I wanted to
Happy
bring
Place
up.
Hemp?
It was Joe Buck expected to
Oh,
host
yeah.
ESPN Jeopardy.
I got to get in on this.
And I'm wondering if, like, this was Front Office Sports that just brought up something today. I don't know if there's any sort of date that has been set on when this program is expected, but it's also going to be, get ready, Hulu, Disney Plus. It may also run, however, on linear TV on ABC and ESPN streaming services.
Right.
But would this not be the most amazing thing ESPN has done in however long if there is an ESPN Jeopardy hosted by Joe Buck?
But first of all, didn't they
That would
do
be
a
top
sports
notch.
Jeopardy like for not for a long term, but didn't they do like from time to time they would do like a sports Jeopardy like
Maybe
type of thing?
Maybe they would bring them in for like a week
I feel
in
like
the summer.
Dan Patrick had a
Suck
hand in
it,
that,
Trebek.
like 30 years ago. V.
Oh.
That is a Rumen number for 5. All you had to do was write a number. You got it. What did you wager? Suck it, Trebek.
That's the best. That's like one of the best ever.
I'm just
So good.
the thought of
Sean Carver.
going off of like the sports trivia world and bringing in a guy like Joe Buck who kind of gives off Jeopardy host vibes.
Do you think
when
A-Rod
he's-
will get in there though?
He's got the
Like-
hair for it.
Like Aaron's got to get in there.
Aaron would definitely get in
Yes,
it.
like he'll
Yeah.
play one more year for Mike, and then he'll retire.
And then he's
then
he's
he'll
a
come to Sports
staple
Jeopardy.
on Jeopardy. Yeah, he's like the guy to beat.
Crosby, how well do you think he would do at Sports Jeopardy?
Not as good as me. I'd crush you.
Yeah, Mitch, you definitely have like the vast knowledge of like obscure sports
except
things.
that I've forgotten stuff. Like I've forgotten more. I used to know more, but
you tap into like some, like the baseball world and some of these like long things that are like happen, before
like
we were
what
even
Wade
born.
Boggs hit in 1987.
Yeah, exactly.
361.
Yeah,
no big deal.
To your
so
point,
you just remember some things, but
Dan Patrick did host Sports Jeopardy on Crackle, which was like
Crackle.
Yeah, wasn't that like the
candy
Fubo
bar.
before Fubo?
Was that the original
or,
streaming platform?
Like,
Kinda
Tubi,
was,
that was back from 2014 to 2016. But Buck does have experience hosting game shows, as he was a guest host on Jeopardy in August of 2021 for Trebek after his death. I still think that this would be awesome, and they have the Super Bowl coming up on ESPN. This next upcoming Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If they can get something in
It's
to
a
get
fun
more
way to-
marketing in there,
I will say, watching WrestleMania.
It's the most creative thing they've done in a while.
And I don't know if they've shown these commercials on ESPN or on ABC, but during WrestleMania, which was on an ESPN platform, they showed Super Bowl preview, and they showed like Buck and Aikman, and then they had like Iron Man flying to the Super Bowl, and they had the guys from Toy Story flying to the Super Bowl, and it was like a really cool
Got all the ABC,
all the
Disney
Disney
stuff,
Marvel, everything like coming together for the Super Bowl in 2027. It was a pretty cool commercial. Like I was like, ooh, if they do this right, this could be a cool spectacle.
Yeah, having Disney and all those platforms, they can draw a lot of digital content through those things. But I love a sports Jeopardy. I think it'll be a blast.
How long?
I want to get on though.
How long until like Darth Vader is a guest host because they're throwing all this Disney stuff?
Just
in
AI, like they're just gonna have AI characters. It's not even gonna be real people. They're just gonna do like Disney characters and AI.
I can't wait for Donald Duck to fill in for Joe Buck.
Oh my gosh, did you see this?
Chewbacca.
Is this from your mom? Is this Mama Tommy?
Oh no.
Yeah, she's bringing it. Nicolay talking text line. Mitch is the best at sports trivia because he's lived through more of it.
I mean, that just means I'm older than the two of you.
Just an
That's
old
all that
joke.
means, yeah.
Just an old joke.
I'll take it.
I love how that we've been on the air for 2 years almost, and you guys have successfully memorized one phone number.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's
Yeah.
my
It's Mommy Tommy.
We know when Mama Tommy comes up.
That's right. All right.
She's usually throwing smoke too, so
That's
we
true.
gotta watch out for her.
Let's wrap things up. Mason's extra points are next. Like I mentioned earlier, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, we're keeping an eye on all of this. And so when we get at some point, we'll dig a little deeper into it. I know we got a lot of Brewers going on and the NFL drafts going on as well. Man, what a time to be alive.
So good.
He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis, and Dad Season, Mason Crosby. It's the Mason Crosby Show.
Always.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today?
Now I'm thinking.
It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis.
Tell me what's on your mind.
On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right. What a great Tuesday. Appreciate everybody jumping on, listening. Appreciate you, Thunder Chicken, and Tommy Big Time Warts for
Let's go.
just doing your thing.
Mm.
Yeah. Gosh, Thunder Chicken. Oh,
Um,
how do we get that shirt? Is that shirt for sale? Can we
It
get?
was. It was the 25 season that
All right.
Hartford did that. So
If
I actually have a
anyone
friend-
has a Thunder Chicken,
Well, I have a
like
friend
a-
who lives in Hartford,
Okay.
Connecticut, so I'm gonna have him look for it. I'm
Okay.
also obviously we can go online. The internet exists.
It does.
update as well. Mitch, your Christmas present is expected to ship next month.
Oh, April. It was April. Right.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I was like looking through
That's
it,
so good.
and I knew it was supposed to be in
Did you
April.
want to cancel it and get me a Thunder Chicken shirt instead?
No, because now the
We're gonna get you one.
anticipation that continues to build
Oh,
with your
okay.
Christmas present. I actually just got sent another email from this place saying if I wanted to pre-order a different item because I had interest pre-ordering
Do
from
you?
before. No, I didn't
Pre-order.
want to pre-order. Remember, you were the first person I bought a Christmas present for,
It's crazy.
and it's the last to arrive because I didn't read the fine
How
print.
was the
of it.
bacon, by the way?
The bacon was
Yeah.
amazing,
Yeah,
but
I'll get you some more.
also you did warn me like your
It's
entire
the
house.
smokiest bacon
Ooh.
on earth.
My house smelled like
Gosh.
bacon.
Mace, there's
for-
a
I love
place-
good smell. I love good bacon
Yeah,
smell though.
There's a place in rural Tennessee, and it has they make bacon for like New York restaurants, but it
Ooh.
is literally the smokiest bacon
All right,
that you've
send
ever
me,
had.
send me,
All right.
send me where it's at.
It
I
was
need to get some.
it
of
was
that.
amazing bacon, but
Yeah.
your house like
Benton's bacon, by the
open
way.
Oh,
it-
Benton's. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
had Benton's.
make
yeah.
sure you got
So
your
Alan
windows
Benton-
open.
Alan Benton's daughter Elizabeth was Mrs. Thunder's best friend growing up.
Gosh, do you know how bad? Like, is it weird that you're saying smoky bacon and I want bacon and a glass of bourbon right
Yes,
now?
No, that is
Oh,
exactly
just
what
like
you're
that sounds like such a good
that is
combo right this
1,000%
moment.
what you're supposed to do. Mace, anything going on? We got some NBA
Softball
playoffs
game tonight,
Oh,
yeah.
softball,
So
All right.
yeah, I'm gonna be coaching 8-year-old softball.
Go
See
get
if
it.
we can't get
Let's
a
go.
win. Yeah, we're getting better every day, but yeah, we'll tune into some basketball, see what's going on, and we'll jump and talk about that here the next couple days.
Yep. Green Bay, no first round pick, but remember Friday night, it's going to be Sparky and Charlie, Green Bay football draft show on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. And that'll lead right into, of course, the post game show with Timmy and Tommy because it's all Tommy all the time.
Always,
Yeah.
keep it going, Tommy.
Absolutely. Yeah. So everybody have a great day. Sunny. It's supposed to be sunny for the rest of the day. So enjoy the weather. Get out there. You do you, whatever it is that is. Be true to yourself.
Be you.
And let's go.
Always.
It's
Thanks for
just-
listening to the Mason Crosby Show.